Hey, so this is going to be a different kind of video, but I feel like it needs to be said because I know that I can't be the only one that feels this way. It's really hard to be in a relationship. It doesn't matter if it's a romantic relationship, friendship, sibling relationship, parent child relationship, with people who disrespect you, who demean, degrade, and belittle you, who decide that your value is based on what they want, think, and feel versus what you actually have to offer. And I have spent 41 years of my life allowing other people to speak to me and treat me like I was less because self-love does not come naturally to me. I have been taught that my value is based on what I can provide to others, what I have to contribute to others. And when I am struggling to be able to support and take care of myself due to my particular uniquenesses in my brain, it is very hard to see my own value or that I have anything to offer to anybody in any way, shape, or form. And I know that to some of you who don't necessarily struggle with this, you may not necessarily understand how somebody would allow themselves to be put in this situation or to put themselves in this situation. But it really comes down to the people that you love and care about, the people that are supposed to love and care about you tend to be the voices in your head. But even random strangers, when you struggle with self love and self acceptance and self worth, have a really big impact on your self image and your ability to be able to recognize your value. And when you hear from others that you are stupid, worthless, fat, ugly, a retard, that you don't have anything to contribute, that you're not valuable, anything, anything that could be considered demeaning, degrading, and hurtful, that tears at you. And even for the people that don't struggle with self-image, self-worth, I would imagine that that would have an effect on them too. How is it that you allow yourself to take on the beliefs of others about yourself when you know yourself better than anybody else does? And you yourself would know if what's being said about you is true, right? Well, yeah and no. If you have been told something long enough, if you have been programmed, I guess, to believe something about yourself, whether it's true or not, if you hear it often enough, it's going to start to take hold. And it will affect the way that you look at yourself. It is almost easier to have somebody walk up and smack you in the face. And I don't advocate or condone violence or physical aggression in any way, shape, or form. I don't. But I'm just saying that it's almost easier to have somebody walk up and slap you in the face than it is to have somebody sit there and say mean, hurtful, awful things about you. Because that shit takes hold in your psyche, and it does long lasting damage. If you are one of the people that is sitting there and talking to somebody in your life in that manner, you may want to reevaluate your relationship, because that isn't respect. That's not love. That's not love. I don't care what you have to say about it. And you can say whatever you want to about, that's how I was raised, or she made me, or he made me, or they made me so angry, or they did it first, or I don't care. It's never okay. That's not respect, and that's not love. It is never okay to sit there and try to tear somebody else down. If you want somebody to respond to you in a positive manner, if you want somebody to treat you well, treat them well. And if you're one of the people that this is being done to, you don't have to put up with it. I'm not saying that I have the answers. I don't. I don't. I'm still learning. And God knows that I have a ways to go. But I know what I know. And I know that if you're sitting there hurting and doing damage to the person, any person that you're supposed to love and care about, then there's something wrong with that picture. And if you're the person on the receiving end of somebody doing that to you, then you need to reevaluate too, because they may not know, they may not understand that it's hurting you. But if you have gone out of your way to let that person know that it is bothering you, and they make excuses for it, or you have gone out of your way to let them know and they tell you that it's your fault, or that it's not a problem, that you're being too sensitive, or anything, that's not okay. And that needs to be addressed. And that might look like you needing to put some distance between yourself and the person that clearly continues to walk over your boundaries. And yes, it is okay to have boundaries. It is necessary to have boundaries. It is important to have them with everybody in your life. It is your gift to yourself. And it is your way of teaching others how to treat and love you. And it's your way of giving love to yourself. Again, I know that I have so far to go. I am nowhere near what anybody would consider to be an expert in the field of psychology or anything, but I've dealt with enough trauma in my life and enough disrespect in my life and bullying and being marginalized, minimalized, and told that I was not enough, that I have a pretty good concept of what is and isn't okay in this context. At the bare minimum, you have the right not to be demeaned, belittled, spoken down to, called names. You don't deserve to have somebody try to lay the blame at your feet for any of it. And if you love the person that's doing that, and you want a relationship with them, boundaries are your only way of being able to keep them in your life in any kind of a healthy manner. Because if you don't set boundaries with those kind of people, then they're not going to do it for you. And they're not going to wake up tomorrow and realize that they're hurting you. And some of these people, they're never going to change. They're never going to care. And they're never going to acknowledge that they did anything wrong. It's beyond them. They will continue laying it at your feet, and you will always be the reason. Always. And I'm not telling you that you need to stop being in their life, because that is a decision that only you can make. That is a choice that only you and you alone can make. But you need to look at where you want to be with yourself and with the people around you. And depending on who it is, you may have to limit your access, because if it's family, and unfortunately this is true sometimes, when it comes to family, sometimes you just can't walk away, or you don't want to cut ties, but you don't deserve to be mistreated either. And if it comes to a friendship or a significant other, there's definitely a reason to reevaluate where you stand with them. And before you do that, maybe you want to really look at where you stand with yourself, because it takes strength to be able to create boundaries. That's something I'm still learning. Boundaries are hard. They are, because I have spent a lot of time in my life, all of my life, thinking that if I put up boundaries with people in my life, that I was going to be alone and lonely, and that there wasn't going to be anybody around. It's taken me 41 years of my life to get to the point where I've decided that I am worth love and respect. I am worth being treated with caring and compassion. I would do it for them. I am reactionary, and I'm not saying that I haven't gone and called people names and done my own share of hurtful things in response to things that have been done and said to me. I'm not an angel. I'm definitely not Jesus Christ. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not. I am deeply flawed, just like every other person. Everyone has their pitfalls, man. Everyone. But if you are reacting to disrespect and you've been pushed to the limit, that's your anger and your emotions trying to protect you. It is your anger trying to tell you that you deserve better than to be put down and treated like that. Nobody deserves to be treated like that. And it's in those times that you really have to decide what is and isn't best for you, because they'll stay around and they'll just keep doing it. They don't have any reason not to. You've let them do it this long, this far. You've allowed them to make you believe less of yourself. And you've allowed them to treat you like you were valuable. I know this is hard. It always is. It is never going to be easy when your emotions are tied to the person that is hurting you. But do you really want to continue for the next 6 months, year, 10 years to allow them to make you feel like you are less valuable than you are, to make them make you feel like you are alone, or like you have no one to turn to, or whatever the situation is that you're dealing with. Because I can tell you right now, I've put myself through that, hoping and praying and making excuses for them. And I have literally said this to others. They've had a bad life, or it's okay, they're just having a bad day, or it doesn't matter, it's not really that bad, or they'll change. They've said they're going to, they promised. But you never see the change. And all of the excuses in the world may be true. They may have had a bad life. But that doesn't mean that they deserve to treat you in any manner that they wouldn't want to be treated. And if they manage to push you to the point where you're doubting your own self, doubting your self-worth, doubting your value, is it worth it? Will they change? Are they really sorry? Words are easy. Words are super easy. They're words. We say them every day. How much is true? Do they show you they mean them? Again, I'm not an expert, and I can't make that decision for you. I'm not here to judge. I'm not here to even tell you that you're, right or wrong in the way you feel. I'm not able to do that for you. I'm having a hard enough time doing it for myself. But I'm learning that If someone doesn't value you, if someone keeps degrading you, if someone doesn't see what you have to offer, what you bring to the table, or see how hard you're working, it might be time to take another look at that situation and see if it's serving you. Because if it's not, maybe you want to change the situation. Maybe try counseling for yourself, for your relationship, because if you've allowed people to make you feel like you're less, you might need some help too. I'm not saying that it isn't them. They definitely need the help if they're going around saying that. But sometimes it's a two-way street. Because if you're allowing it, then it says something about you. I love you all. And I hope that none of you are finding yourself in this situation. I want all of you to be able to be in relationships where you feel safe and valued and loved. I want you to be in a situation where you don't have to wonder. But if you're not, I hope you get there. Because you all deserve it. Each and every one of you deserve it. I hope you have an excellent day and that you breathe and can get some grounding in, and that you can go and be out in nature or whatever calms you and brings you a sense of peace. I want that for you. And for now, I am praying and hoping that you guys all find your happy spot. That is all for my thoughts for today. And I will talk to you again later. If you find what I'm doing valuable and you want to continue seeing me, please like, subscribe, share, comment. That way you can find me easier and you get updates on when I post, and help other people to find me as well. That way I can reach more people. And for now, I hope that you guys have an excellent day. Bye.